My name is Justin Gross. I'm a co-founder of Justice for Kids, which is a boutique law practice based in South Florida. Majority of our cases involve children who have been catastrophically harmed. Our client was born to two parents that had an extensive history of violence. There was untreated and persistent substance abuse issues. And so the suspected abuse is reported to a hotline in the state of Florida. So our client was placed into a home with violent parents with an extensive history of involvement with Florida's child welfare system. So over the course of roughly 6 weeks during that time period, she was subjected to repeated and persistent physical abuse that doctors described as the equivalent of taking adult hands, wrapping them around the chest of this little girl, picking her up and violently thrashing her back and forth with force. In short, the physical injuries that she suffered involved multiple rib fractures at various stages, skull fracture, brain damage, including shearing of brain matter, complete loss of brain matter, subdural hematoma that caused significant swelling to also cause brain damage, bleeding that migrated down her spinal cord. So she had significant physical injuries and that ultimately resulted in brain damage and cerebral palsy. And at its core, what the case was about was a decision to place the child into a setting, an environment that was predictably dangerous. And so the Department of Children and Families takes the call. They assign an investigator whose sole function is to conduct what's called a child protective investigation. In doing that, they also subcontract a private child welfare agency that has a responsibility for providing what's called case management or safety management services. So one of the challenges that we faced in this case was the defense in our case wanted to frame our client's harm as though it had been inflicted in an isolated event that they could not have predicted or guarded against and occurred at some point when they were not in the home. And so the challenge that we faced was we need to be able to establish and show jurors that this was a pattern of persistent abuse that caused the harms that were ultimately discovered and identified by the hospital. Once we knew that we wanted to create a presentation, and I knew that DK Global was going to be the creative side to do that, it was critical to me to have our experts collaborate directly with DK Global so that we could ensure that the end product accurately reflected the opinions of each of these experts, because that's what was going to help in terms of the admissibility of the product. I can tell you that globally, the case resolved in very high seven-figure settlement. It was a really, really well done animation at the end that was critical, being able to tell our child's story.